What's up everybody? Today we're going to be doing a what's on my desk video, and it's been a really long time coming, but I've finally moved to beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Got my apartment set up, I've got my room set up, and of course for all my online learning needs, I've got my desk set up. At this point I've spent a lot of time organizing this desk that it kind of feels like a child to me, and I'm really excited to be showing you guys what I've been using on a day-to-day basis. Oh, and if you're new here, maybe the YouTube algorithm just recommended me to you. Hi, my name is Eric and I'm a first-year medical student in Canada, and my goal is to try to show you what it's like in the life of a medical student, help you be a little bit more productive and organized, and maybe have a laugh or two along the way. Now with all that said and done, let's get into the desk setup. So the very first thing I want to talk about is the desk itself. It's a MCAT desk from IKEA, and it ran me about $130. And for that price point, I think this desk was a fantastic option for anyone who's on a student's budget or is just looking for a sleek, clean looking, and spacious desk that they can use for their studying needs. It has 2 pull-out drawers for storage, and it has a grommet hole on the side to funnel all your wires through. Maybe one day I'll be able to upgrade to a standing desk, but on a student's budget, this desk is absolutely perfect. I did opt to assemble it myself, which was, as anyone who's built IKEA furniture knows, a massive pain, but after I got through that hurdle, I've been really enjoying using this desk. So the next thing I want to talk about is my mouse, which is the Razer DeathAdder V2. And yes, it's a wired mouse, which I know is becoming extinct these days. But the reason I didn't opt for a Bluetooth mouse is because I do like to indulge in a little bit of PC gaming after I'm done all my work, of course, and I never procrastinate. No, that's not true. I procrastinate all the time. So I used to have a Bluetooth mouse and it was okay at times, but it wasn't the best quality and I didn't do a lot of research before getting one. And I wanted to get a mouse that was reliable, that had a lot of good feel. I don't know if you can hear that click. But what I like about the wired mouse is that it's more responsive and you never have to worry about it dying and having to charge it in the middle of something really important. It's very ergonomic. It feels really comfortable around my hands for long periods of use at a time. And there's also these 2 programmable buttons on the side, which you can use for anything. So I do tend to use those for PC gaming, but I also like to use them to enhance my workflow in Premiere Pro, as well as any other applications. They're just really convenient, so I can save a little bit of time on every action, but that little bit of time really adds up when you're doing it over and over again. Some other features about the mouse is that it lights up right here when it's actually plugged in, and it has something which I didn't think I would use as much as I actually do, but these 2 buttons to change your DPI, which essentially is just how sensitive your mouse is as you swipe it across. The higher the DPI, the less you have to move your cursor the same amount of distance. Another thing about the mouse to highlight is that it has these non-stick pads down here, which just help with making sure the mouse glides smoothly around your mouse pad. So then the next thing to talk about is the mouse pad itself. So I have here just a classic, almost twice as big as my head mouse pad, also from Razer, which I've been using with the mouse and I've never had a problem with yet. So next I'll talk about my keyboard, which is the Keychron K2. It's an RGB keyboard, it's a mechanical keyboard, and as you can see, it is a wireless keyboard. I really like it so far. It's actually a gift that my girlfriend got me, so thank you, Alicia, for this wonderful keyboard. The keyboard is really comfortable to use, and the response makes it that much more satisfying to use for extended periods of time. It has these little feet at the bottom to help you elevate the keyboard a little bit. And of course, on the side, there's the charging port, there's the wired wireless connection switch, and then if you're using Mac or Windows, there's an option to switch between those as well. What I really like about it is that it is numpad-less. I've personally never been one to use the numpad, so by removing that, you save a lot of space and make the keyboard more sleek and compact. In terms of battery life, I think the battery on this keyboard is exceptional. I use it extensively every single day, and I maybe only have to charge it every 2 to 3 weeks. Of course, the keys at the top are all programmable for any functions or hotkeys you might need. So for sure, one of the highlights of this keyboard is definitely the way it sounds and the way it feels. I think that's what draws a lot of people towards mechanical keyboards, is getting that tactile sensation that makes the typing that much better. I'll give you a little sample of what that sounds like. And it's weird because sometimes when I'm typing and I hear that response, I hear all the clicking, it makes me feel like I'm going more productive and I'm more excited to keep typing, and it's just the cycle that keeps going and going. And I know it sounds super nerdy, but honestly, this keyboard has really made working that much more enjoyable. One thing I have noticed with the keyboard though is it is kind of elevated, so when you're using it, your wrists are kind of at a weird angle, and that might be a little bit uncomfortable if you're not using something like a wrist rest. Alicia also got this for me, so once again, thank you, Alicia, for thinking so far ahead. I've done a full review of this keyboard specifically in another video, so check out that one if you're interested in learning more about the Keychron K2. Next, let's talk about my monitor. So this is a BenQ 27-inch monitor, 1080p, fully HD. I didn't opt for an ultra-wide or 4K monitor because, once again, I'm trying to save a little money on a student's budget, trying to put off as much debt accumulation as possible. So I opted to get this monitor because it was a good enough size that I can still split screen and focus on 2 different tasks at the same time while not having to worry about any flickering, any pixel loss, or any lack of quality. Another great feature with this monitor is that it has a built-in sensor at the bottom that can detect the level of ambient light in the room and then automatically adjust your screen brightness, so you don't get those moments when this room is dark and then you get blasted with the screen, or when the screen is really dark when the room is really well lit up and it's impossible to see. By automatically adjusting that, you always avoid those occasions and you're ready to use the computer at any time. So yeah, not much more to say about monitors, but if you're interested in this monitor and learning more about it, check out this monitor and everything else I've been talking about in the video in the description below. So the next thing I want to talk about is my computer, which is the Dell XPS 17. I opted for a laptop instead of a desktop because I like to be more compact and mobile, be able to bring my workflow with me anywhere I go instead of being tied down to just my desk. In terms of computer specs, it's an i7 processor with 2.3 gigahertz. It has 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage. It has a NVIDIA 2060 graphics card, which is really important for me because I do a lot of creative work in video editing, as well as graphics intense video games. It does have a 17-inch screen, which is amazing for displaying everything I need to do, but it makes it a little tough to find a backpack that can actually fit the laptop because it is so large. Luckily, we did get our medical school backpacks, which are basically these pseudo camping trip backpacks that can fit basically anything. So I kind of lucked out in that department. If you want to learn more about what's in my bag, check out this video up here. So I'm using this laptop for essentially everything on a day-to-day basis. Zoom calls, I'm using it to study online, I'm using it to watch YouTube videos, make YouTube videos. And the reason I didn't choose a MacBook instead of a Windows laptop is because I've been using Windows all my life, and honestly, at this point, it is too late to switch. So you might notice that my laptop and my computer back here are both resting upwards, and you might think, what is the laptop sitting on? I got a nice little stand from Amazon, which keeps both the laptop and the monitor propped up. And it's great because you can adjust the height of each one individually to meet your own standards. And what I really like too about the monitor setup is you can angle it in any direction, have it vertical, horizontal, diagonal, tilt it forward and backwards to really suit whatever needs or purpose are at that time. So lastly, I want to talk about some of my favorite desk things. So the very first thing I want to talk about is this lamp, which for a lamp has a lot of settings. Firstly, the setting to change the color of the lamp based on your mood and what you're doing. Say, for example, you really want to be active and want nice bright lighting, you can change it to the white study mode. And then if you want to avoid some of that bright light before bed, you can change it to a sleep mode instead. And of course, you can change the intensity and brightness of each of those settings as well. There's also a timer you can set to turn off the light automatically if you forget to do so. The next thing I want to talk about is my love box, which is something I'm doing with my girlfriend Alicia. We each have one, although I'll give her credit. She came up with the idea first and gifted me one, and I thought it was so great that I had to give her one too. Essentially what it is she can send me a message, and then my love box, the heart will spin, and I'll be able to open it and read the message that she sends me. We've been doing long distance, so it's a nice way to stay in touch and just remember that the other person is thinking of us from time to time. So the next thing I want to talk about is my Google Home Mini, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, as it is an ever increasingly popular commodity in the household. I like to use it to check the weather in the morning, or to play a little bit of background music while I'm doing things, or just to keep the mood light and fun. Hey Google, can you tell me a joke?
How do mountains see? They eat.
The next thing I have on my desk is an Xbox controller, which I plug in from time to time if I'm playing a game that's better on controller, or if I'm doing my flashcards for the day on a software named Anki. So you can program the controller to input different commands in the flashcard app, so it makes doing these boring flashcards seem just a little bit more exciting and a little bit more like a game, so it keeps you wanting to be engaged and continue going. Last few things I have on my desk is this Kirby plushie, which I think just adds a little bit of spice and a little bit of a friendly face to my desk whenever I might be feeling burnt out or a little bit tired from studying. I also have a little stand to rest my headphones on, which is nice instead of just leaving them around anywhere. And I also have these fun little 3 plants from IKEA. No, they're not real. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that responsibility yet, but hopefully I'll be able to graduate to a real plant one day. So that's it. That's what's on my desk right now, and that's what my desk setup is like. So thank you for coming to learn more about what it's like having a desk and what stuff goes on my desk. If you like the video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And like usual, that's been your daily dose of Medicine, and I'll see you in the next video.